So this video is for programming challenge number 3. It's not a programming challenge, it's assignment number 3 for Shasta College for CIS 61 for Cayton Polen's class. And I give a shout out to Isaiah Witten, who basically wrote most of this program. And I asked him for some help, and he let me, he helped me with it. So that's awesome. So I appreciate that. Anyway, let's go back to the actual assignment. We'll pull that up really quick. I was thinking about 3 different ways to do it, and I started doing it, and I realized that the way Isaiah had done a lot of the stuff, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that's a lot of help. Anyway, this programming assignment is I apologize it's taking me so long to make the video, but I've been working full time for the last 2 weeks, so there it is right there. Programming assignment 3. 20 points. What's in the box? For this C++ assignment program, we're going to have the computer. So this is having the computer play a game with the user. The game, there's 3 boxes. One box has $1 million or some other prize you want to give away. The other 2 boxes have a red snapperfish or something else in it. The rules are the player will select one. So what you have to do is you have to select the box first. And before you do the random number generator, you have to select a box, which is funny. Anyway, the computer selects a different box after you select your box. And the computer has to select not the player selected box and not the winning box, and reveals it to the player. The computer gives the player the option of switching their original choice to the last box that has not been reviewed. Finally, the box that was picked is revealed to the player and determines a win or loss. To get full credit on this assignment, you must have at least 2 functions. One function must pass by value, and the other function must pass by reference. And you must use these properly, or show or email your code before turning it in your program if you have questions of passing parameters. You can pass mix by value and pass by reference in one function and get full credit on the assignment. Pass by reference, you can create a function, and in this function you will use a random number generator to get box 1, 2, or 3. That is the winning prize. Another option is to create a function that figures out based off of the winning box number, the losing box number based off the user selection. For pass by value function, you can create a function that figures out if the user has won or lost, or just create a simple function that will print out the message to the user. You must validate the user's input, so that's error handling there. You must add comments to your code. Okay, yeah, I did that. Do not use global variables. Do not use a go-to statement. The use of global variables in a go-to statement will receive automatic 0 for this programming assignment. Okay, so let's see what I did. So this program is what's in the box. So you got to put your comments section up at the top here. I always, because later on we're going to be using strings, I always just started using the string. Always include your input-output stream. IO manip's always good to include even if you don't use it. This is your C standard library and your C time. This is needed for your random number generator. So you've got to prototype your functions first. So this just doesn't return a value, but you're sending, I think these are by reference, or there are 3 integers right there. So you're doing the show content of the box by integers here. And you got your main function here. So you declare your 3 variables. You got box 1, 2, and 3. Your user choice, correct number equal 1. Call the function to assign box and an ID. So then you assign your box. This is your function here. This is what you're doing your function call to. Well, I'll show you the functions here in a minute. 1, 2, or 3. So do a cout first. You have a user choice of 3 boxes. Oops. One contains $1 million. The other two contain red snappers in line. Do you choose box 1, 2, or 3? Next line. This is your first loop here. Well, correct number equals 1, then you get your user input. See input, and that's the user choice. If the user choice is less than 1, or these are ors here, that's your or statement, or user choice is less than 3, and see how this is not a valid option. So they can't enter a 0 or greater than, I'm sorry, this is greater than 3. So they can't enter 0 or 4 or above. And that's an invalid option. Or else the correct number would be 0. That's what we set up above. And then you got your user choice box, and this is where you do your putting your variable, your show content, and you're passing to from your parameter, or I should say your function. The value of your function goes for this function right here goes into this variable. And it says, okay, here's your user choice. This is what you enter in. You see how if your user choice is 1, then you win $1 million. Else, you want a red snapper. Else if, this is else if here, user choice equals 2. If user choice equals 1, you've won $1 million. It's the same code as above. Else, you want a red snapper. Else, if your user choice is 3. If your box equals 1, box 3 equals 1, then you've won $1 million. Else. So what we're doing is sort of using this as a Boolean variable, even though it's an integer. Else you want a red snapper. So anyway, that's the end of the program right there. But here's the functions here. So this wouldn't actually return a value, but this is the in boxes here. This is where you're assigning the numbers to the box. So this is where you do your random. This is your unsigned seed, and this is where you use your time, your seed time. This is where you declare int prize number. This is your random number generator seeded random number. And this is your prize equals, and here's how I always do it this way, 1 plus random number divided, because we have 3 choices between 1 and 3. So that's this here. And you always use your modulus here to tell. So what you're doing is you're setting your random number to 1 to 3. So like in our last, I think it was it our last one? We did 1 to 100, or was that another? There was another program in either this chapter or the previous chapter where you, the random number generator to guess between. Oh, I think that was our last program. Anyway, this is still the function. So we got box 1 equals 1. The other 2 boxes, notice they're both to 0. So that's 1 would be true. These would be false. So this would be a win. And this would be false, and that would be a loss. So those are your red snappers. The zeros are red snappers. Else if prize number equals 2, so this is the box here. This is setting box 2 to 1 to be true to win. And box 1 and 3 are 0. Else if box 1 is 0, box 2 is 0, box 3 would have to be 1. So that's that function. And then just the showing the contents of the box here. So our next function, and this is an integer, our function int here, and this int user choice. So this is where we get the user choice from the user, and we're passing the box numbers to 1, 2, and 3 here. And this is if it's another box, so this would be red snapper. This doesn't go back the other box numbers, so that's fine. So if box 2 equals 0, if user choice equals 1, if box 2 equals 0, then other box equals 2, else other box equals 3. Else if user choice equals 2 and box 1 equals 0, then other box equals 1 and other box equals 3. Because those are your only two choices there. Remember, it has to be between 1, 2, and 3. Else if user choice equals 3 and other box equals 0, then other box equals 2. You're assigning this here. Or other box equals 1. And then you see out you chose, you tell your user choice what you chose. But first, let me show you what's in the other box. Oh, it's a red snapper. It's your see out statements. Do you want to change your user choice? Yes or no? And this is where they can either put a Y or an N here. So if they change to yes, then the correct number to reset the correct number to 1. Please enter your new choice, and then we do another while loop. While user choice equals 1, we get their new user choice. And if its user choice is less than, this is our error checking here, and greater than 3, or user choice equals the other box here. Whoops. I'm going to do that. Or other box variable. Then back. See out. That's not a valid option. Please try again. And this is where we get our otherwise the else at the end loop. The correct number is 0. So those are the two functions. And this is where we do our return. This is what our user choice is here. This is like these functions have a return. If you notice on the void function, I don't think it has a return. Yeah, see this one? This is the void function. There's no return statement on it, so it's not returning a value at all. We're just getting information here. We're assigning numbers to the box. So anyway, that's assignment 3 in a nutshell. I'll go slow over this. So you include your strings. You don't have the strings not used. The IO stream, IO manips not. I don't think is used in this program, but I always include it because you never know when you're going to need it. The C standard library and the C time using namespace standard. You make sure you prototype your functions first, unless you write your functions at the beginning of your program. And notice this is a void function, so you know it's not returning. It doesn't have a return value. So anyway, this is our int main. Declare our 3 variables. Get our int user choice. Correct number equals 1. We're assigning and initializing the variable there. The other ones we're just declaring. So this is where we call our first function right here, or assign the box number. Then we see out. You have a user choice. 3 boxes in line. One contains $1 million. The other 2 contain red snappers in line. And then you do your loop. Correct number equals 1. Get your user choice. And we do our if statements. If it's less than 1, this is error handling. Or user choice is greater than 3, then it's not a valid option. Or else our correct number equals 0. So we're assigning correct number to 0. This is where we call our other one. This is where we're putting the variable, putting the number of the box that we choose, or the number from the user choice in the show contents, and then we're doing that here. putting that back to here. So if user choice equals 1, and if box 1, you won $1 million. So let's see how this works really quick. We'll come back. We'll try box 2. It's a red snapper. You chose box 2. Let's see what's in box 1. Do you want to change your choice? No. Oh, I won $1 million. Look at that. Woohoo! So that works. Cool. So anyway, if you win, it shows you won $1 million. But otherwise, you win a red snapper. So you do that for all the user choices because you're doing a random number generation here. That's what all these are. User choice equals 3. If box 1 equals 3 from your random number, then you won $1 million. Else you won a red snapper. So we got our functions here. This is the one that doesn't return a value, but we're sending it here. It's where we do our random number generation with our unsigned int seed of time, where we need our seed time from up above. It's our random number generation, seeded random number. Prize num equals 1 plus our random number from 1 to 3. And then this is where we do our if statements here. If prize equals 1, box equals 1, the rest of the boxes equals 0. If prize equals 2, then box this equals, this is the winning box. So I hope you guys can see how that works. So and then the only other choice is 3. So if that's a winning box, then the other two have to equal 0, like this. So there's no return value, so it doesn't return a value back to the main function, or the main part of the program. This is the show box contents, where we're doing our int function for our user choice here. And int box 1, int box 2, and int box 3, I think it is. Yep. This other box num, we're initializing and assigning it to 0 here. Got a character, change, y or n, and then if user choice equals 1, then if, this is a nested if statement, if box equals 0, then other box equals 2, else other box equals 3. Oops. Then we go back, else if user choice equals 2, then box equals 0, other box equals 1, and other box equals 3. And then the last choice is if user choice equals 3, then box 2 equals 0, and other box equals 2 and 1. Then you tell the user what they chose here. User choice. You chose your user choice. But first, let's see what's in the other box. It's a red snapper. Do you want to change your user choice? Yes or no? This is where we get our from our char variable up there. Yes or no? Oh, we do need the string up there. I'm sorry. That's where we're using characters. So this is if we change our yes to yes or y, so we correct number to 1. It's resetting the variable. Do another loop with correct number equals 1. Get our user choice again. If user choice is less than 1 or greater than 3, or user choice equals the other box, that's not a valid option. Please try again. Otherwise, the correct number equals 0. So that's error checking right there again. And we return the user choice back to our main function. So anyway, we'll watch that run again one more time. So we'll go with box 2 again. Oh no, I'm not going to change it. Oh, I want a red snapper that time. Okay, cool. So it works correctly. So anyway, that's the programming challenge, or not programming challenge, assignment number 3 for CIS 61 for Cayton Polen's C++ class for Shasta College for fall 2021. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Isaiah Witten for helping me out on this one. Thanks a lot, man. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.